I'm David Stefanich, CEO and co-founder of Rymedi. Rymedi is a digital health platform that helps to identify individuals in market that are suffering from various diseases, need diagnostic testing, delivery of the treatment for that disease, and really ensure wellness is achieved in market through disease eradication and not just the treatment of symptoms. I'm a trained inorganic chemist. As I came out of grad school, I started working for an FDA-associated facility with the tobacco industry. During that time, I was able to travel around the world on various secondees, started integrating labs. So that started marrying the technology along with the inorganic chemistry background. And that slowly progressed into going and receiving my MBA from Hong Kong University. So understanding the global impact of business and being able to see what's going on around the world. Mid-career, I spent some time doing merger acquisitions for large automotive companies, and then just came back to my passion several years ago to pharmaceuticals, continuous flow pharmaceuticals associated with Medicine for All program with the Gates Foundation, which is based out of Richmond. That's where I met my co-founder, Dr. Cross. And it was interesting because Dr. Cross and I, who was a 2-time cancer survivor, I was amazed I was able to track a spark plug to a Volvo in Eastern Europe easier than he could figure out where his diagnostic information was related to the disease he was suffering with. And that was the very genesis of what Rymedi is and how we became that. We're a traditional SaaS company. We have 5 tiers of utilization on the platform. So it isn't a user-based, it's utilization-based as we set up the model for passive recurring revenue associated with ARR. Our business philosophy is simple. We like passive recurring revenue and compounded interest. And what we've also discovered over time, though, is that it's an enabler to something we like to refer to as the Rymedi marketplace. So now our lab networks are able to put panels out for testing of clients, but they don't have to incur the capital cost with building the equipment because we can split the order, bring it back together. So our acquisition of customers are really focused on market attainment and revenue growth. So that is how we've been able to acquire the client base we have and the stickiness of those clients as we've continued to grow. The last piece that's been really interesting for us is we have a FDA submission for a master application file, which means the FDA is aware that we have a real-world evidence acquisition engine for the data behind it. All of our clients didn't really understand and appreciate the value of the data they're collecting by storing it as real-world evidence and the changes with the FDA regulations, which mean if you have a digital wrapper on a point-of-care test at home, it's now admissible for virtual clinical trials. So as we continue to enter the clinical trial market, the lab clients are able to monetize this value in the data being sold throughout the clinical trial. So distributed clinical trials, along with our lab clients, are really the backbone of where our SaaS revenue is. The on top part, the professional fees and services is nice, and that's generated free cash flow without dilution, as we've yet to do a priced round. When we go out to meet with clients, they're looking at bringing safety to their place of operation. So they have comprehensive testing programs they want to execute. So what does that mean? So each person at Clemson University has a digital passport on their phone which identifies their PII, their private information that's not shared with others. The PHI is the transactional side. So the students are able to go through various testing centers, provide samples, they run to the lab which has been built on campus, which is Ready Labs, and then there's a digital workflow that allows them to have the results. So we report to the student, we report to the organization. And more importantly, we're also integrated with all 50 states. So the statewide health organization is aware of infectious diseases, Hep C, HIV, other tests that are being done. Give you an example of the volume we were doing. At the height of the pandemic, we were testing 11,000 students in 4 hours. That's what the software was able to enable to get those high volume flow through. The backbone of what the Rymedi platform is, the digital workflow, also provided the backbone for the very first drive-through vaccination clinic. So you could pull into a parking lot, scan your health passport, and by the time you got to the other side, your dose was ready, your validation questions were already approved, and it was safe to get a vaccination. And we're seeing that extend further into flu, influenza, various vaccination programs that are going out. One of the challenges of an early stage growth company like we are is making sure we're focused on our core market. So we continue to be focused on the lab segments, expanding our capabilities, compendium of 3,500 different tests, the capabilities of the Rymedi network. Now what's been exciting is we keep an eye on the legislative side. So the FDA has changed regulations so that if you have a digital wrapper around a piece of plastic, let's picture a pregnancy test. If there's a digital chain of custody and that's done in the home, that's now admissible for virtual clinical trials. So we just brought on a new COO to head up our clinical trial aspect as more and more companies are getting into clinical trials, North America as well as globally. So that ability to do clinical trials across the globe leveraging a lab network that's established in a trusted real-world evidence aspect has really been the key. So we're focused the clinical trial, clinical diagnostic space has really been the backbone.